Modern four-wheel drives cannot carry as much as you might think. We've spent some time looking at over 40 different models of four-wheel drive to find out how much payload they might or might not have, and the results were shocking. Just the van on the back and you are already over GVM. This one is so overloaded, it's illegal before you even get in the driver's seat. People think that big American trucks can carry more, but some of them have payloads no better than a standard dual cab ute. There's a payload crisis right now with modern four-wheel drives. But to really understand the problem, we've got to realise what payload is. Payload is, technically speaking, how much your vehicle can legally carry. To find the payload of your vehicle, you need to find the GVM rating and how heavy the four-wheel drive is in its current state. Then subtract that weight from the GVM and that figure will be your payload. That gives you the limit of how much stuff you can legally carry. I'm talking modifications, accessories, fridges, bull bars, winches, roof racks, tow bars, and don't forget also the ball weight of anything that you might be towing. That is your payload. Every car brand has its own payload, so we've done the homework for you and listed it on the screen so you can see. We've listed them in order of best dual cabs, best wagons, and best American trucks as well. A couple of things really stood out for me on this test. Firstly, let's look at American trucks. Sure, these rigs can tow more, but that comes out of the payload. So most payloads end up being significantly less than a dual cab ute. Next up, electric vehicles. Of course, they come out with big batteries as standard, which are super heavy, making the vehicles heavy. Now, they've got great GVMs, but because of the weight of the vehicle, their payload is minuscule. Now, you might be looking at these numbers and thinking 600, 800 kilograms is a lot to play with, but let's see just how quickly that gets used up. Take this stock 300 series right here. All we've done is give this a full tank of fuel, and currently our weight is 2,625 kilos, meaning we have got just over 650 kilos to play with. But let's get serious. Who is keeping these bad boys stock? To show you what we mean, we put this stock 300 series on scales, and we're going to add sandbags to simulate the weight of accessories that you'd usually put on the vehicle. All right, let me talk you through what we have simulated right here using our sandbags. So we've put, roughly speaking, a bull bar, maybe some lights and a light bar up the front here. That's about it. We've upgraded our tyre size ever so slightly. Up on top, we've got a roof rack and an awning. We've chucked in the back a set of drawers. We've got a fridge full of beers. Have a look at the figures we've got here. GVM of a stock 300 is 3,280. We right now are at 3,074, meaning we've got around about 200 kilos to play with. So that means you and your mate can get in the front so long as your mate has been on a diet, you ain't taking the dog, and those beers I said that are in the fridge, you're gonna have to have them warm because we have not got a 12-volt system in at all. Oh, and you're gonna have to sleep together because you ain't got room for a swag either. Another important thing to consider is the axle limits of these four-wheel drives. It's a separate weight rating for both the front and rear axle of these four-wheel drives. And it's an important number to keep in mind to make sure your four-wheel drive doesn't exceed your axle capacity. Just remember that front and rear axle capacities are often different. As an example, the front load limit on a 300 series is 1,600 kilos or thereabouts. We're currently sitting stock standard at 1,400 kilos. We have added just over 100 kilos of sandbags here to represent a bull bar, maybe a winch as well, and that is being very generous. We've taken our load at the front to 1,574.5 kilograms. The load limit is 1,630, meaning we have under 60 kilos to play with. You cannot even put an adult male in here to drive this vehicle without being over your front axle load limit. The scary thing is a lot of people are driving around dangerously overloaded without even realising it. Add towing into the mix and it takes dangerous to downright scary. One thing most people don't understand is that the tow ball down weight of the van you are towing is going to eat into your GVM. Let's use some facts and figures here. This van right here on its own 2.4 tonne, that is fantastic, but the ball weight is approximately 10% of the van's weight. So that means 240 to 250 kilos of down ball weight is going to be eating into your GVM. For this 76 series, its payload is roughly 500 to 540 kilos. Take 250 kilos off that and you can see you only have a couple of hundred kilos to spare. This particular vehicle, if it did not have a GVM upgrade, 100% would not be able to tow this van and carry anything inside the car at all. We've done our research and we've talked to both police and major insurance companies and asked them exactly what happens if you are caught overloaded. You can see their responses on the screen. When you're not covered for damage, loss, cost, or legal liability, you have to pay for all repairs to your own car. You're gonna have to pay for repairs to the other person's car. You're gonna have to pay for any public property damage. If someone is injured, you have to pay for their medical bills and ongoing care. Now, that is pretty freaking scary, and I think you'll understand when I say these costs can reach hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. And even if you're not involved in an accident, police can fine you anywhere from $288 to $1,923 on the spot if your four-wheel drive is overweight. Want to find out how much your four-wheel drive really weighs? Well, the PETA's Weight Matrix is a free online tool that lets you do just that. Just pick your vehicle, then add in things like bullbar, spotlights, roof rack, fuel tanks, even a Caravan. It'll show you exactly how much weight you have got left before you are overloaded. It'll even show you how that weight is distributed front and back on your vehicle, and it'll even show you how that'll affect your braking distance. For the most accurate results, head into your local PETA's store where they will perform a PETA's tow and load assessment. They'll ask you a few questions about your vehicle, check how your vehicle's set up, and give you a very accurate representation of what you can and cannot do with your vehicle moving forward. Some local police stations will even have weigh days, so find out where they are by ringing your local cop shop. Now, if you found out that your four-wheel drive is overweight, you've got three options. Number one, buy a new four-wheel drive that has a bigger GVM, a very costly option and likely not ideal for most people. Number two, you can carry or tow less. Now, this is a simple idea, but we've just proven to you weight adds up so quickly when you're kitting out your four-wheel drive. Which leads us to number three, get a GVM upgrade. The only way to legally carry more weight in some of these vehicles is with a GVM upgrade. We've just got back from an epic Kimberley trip with the 79 and the BT50, both towing and both fully loaded with everything we needed for months out in the bush. I've now just put the 79 over the Weighbridge to get some figures so I can share with you exactly what's going on. The 79 on its own, solo, 3.58 tonnes fully loaded. So that means if I did not have a GVM upgrade on this 79 series, straight away, before I put the van on, I'm over GVM. In fact, I cannot even get in the car. So with my 4.2 tonne GVM upgrade, I have just over 600 kilograms to play with. Now let's not forget that is fully loaded food, fuel, and everything I need to hit the Kimberley for months at a time. This extra payload also gives me plenty of space for the ball weight of the van. So there is no doubt in my mind that a GVM upgrade on my 79 has 100% allowed me to legally and safely go further and stay longer in the bush than I could have done without it. In fact, I wouldn't have even got out my driveway legally without a GVM upgrade. Now, there's so much more to a GVM upgrade than most people realise. It's not just a lift kit that adds a little bit of extra height to your four-wheel drive. Rightio folks, I'm down at PETA's in Melbourne, PETA's HQ in Melbourne. I'm sitting here with Aaron, who is one of the engineers specifically involved in GVM upgrades. Now, what goes into making a GVM upgrade from the ground up?
First thing we're going to do is we're going to drive the car OE, see if there's any pain points in terms of ride and handling and comfort.
Yep.
Then we'll bring it into our workshop here.
Yep.
We'll strip it down. We'll measure all the suspension components, all the mounting points, everything we need for suspension development. Mm-hmm. The OEM suspension is always a compromise. Yep. So they have to make a car ride well, fully unladen, and then all the way up to the OEM GVM.
Pretty hard to do.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So we're going to go through and work out exactly what option we want in terms of springs and dampers.
Yep. And that's going to come down to, once you've established this, that's going to come down to the honesty of the customer too, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
Coming into you and saying exactly what they need.
Yep.
Rightio, we've got our springs, we've got our shocks, we're happy with the vehicle,
yep,
but we're not on the road. We are not legal yet. What's the go now?
So this is the difference between a lift kit and a GVM kit. Because we're changing the GVM of the vehicle,
yep,
we need to prove compliance to the federal administrators. Mm-hmm. So then we can prove that at our increased load, we are still okay. So we've got the dynamic tests that we do on the track, yep, and then the more static tests that we do in the workshop.
Is there much that goes into these tests? Is it hugely rigorous for a new vehicle?
It's quite involved. An ADR 35 test, so the brake test, that's a day at Sandown.
Oh really, a whole day, yep.
Yep, you need to test braking distance,
Yep.
but you're also checking failure modes. So you're cracking brake lines to make sure that with the front's disabled, the rears can work. It's quite an involved test.
We're now into static tests. What's to go there?
Yep, so we've got ADR 42, which is general safety, which involves things like making sure you've got a tyre placard and your pressure's set correctly, making sure that your mud flaps are covering the wheel and there's nothing hanging out past beyond the bodywork. And then you've got your lighting requirements, so things like the reverse lights, checking all the lamps to make sure that they're still within the set heights.
So once those two are done, you've got your dynamic, you've got your static, everything's been ticked off.
Yep.
I think it's important that we say to the folks back home, this doesn't have to be done for every single vehicle. So if you go in and buy, this is done once federally.
Yes, correct.
And that is good to go after that. So folks, you don't have to go and do a brake test down at your local skid pan. You can do if you want.
Yep.
You don't have to do that. This is done once by PETAs, ticked off by the federal government, good to go.
Yep.
When I got my GVM upgrade done on the 79, you guys suggested straight away, don't even muck around, grab yourself an optional brake upgrade.
Yep.
The difference that made, phenomenal.
Yep.
It really was. So what's to go there? You don't have to get it done?
No, so we test all of our cars on the OEM brakes to make sure that if you don't want an optional brake upgrade, you're still going to be compliant.
Still good,
However, we can see definite gains in terms of like fade resistance and stopping power if we choose to go ahead and do a brake upgrade. And one thing we haven't even discussed is making sure that the axles are actually going to be rated highly enough for our new capacities.
Makes sense.
So what we do there is we create a 3D model in the computer and we apply some simulated loads through a tool called FEA, so Finite Element Analysis.
Right.
So it's an engineering tool which allows us to simulate in 3D space loads through the vehicle in certain ways to make sure that we're not going to exceed the yield stress of the components.
So that's all done on a software basis?
Mostly software, and then we correlate with a physical test.
Gotcha. Okay, vehicle's on the hoist.
Yep.
You've got upgraded suspension, you've got upgraded brakes.
Yep.
You've taken it for a drive.
Yep.
We're on the road, right?
Not yet.
For goodness sake, what's next?
So next, all the evidence that we've collected with our ADR testing, we've got to supply that to the federal government.
Okay.
So we go through an approval process with them. We will supply them all those documents in form of test reports. They will review them. And then eventually, after usually about a 60-day wait, we will get an approval number, which means that we are okay to go.
How long does that take from you getting a brand new X vehicle to wheeling it out of here compliant, good to go?
On a good day, about 8 months.
8 months?
Yep.
Right.
Can take up to 12 months.
So a year's worth of work to get that GVM upgrade that you folks at home are umming and ahhing about. A GVM upgrade would have to be down there as one of the least sexy upgrades you can do for a vehicle, but in my humble opinion, having now driven non-GVM and GVM, very similar vehicles, it would be and was the first thing I did on the 79. And I think you would agree, I know you're a bit biased, but I think you would agree it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, no-brainer at all.
Just get it done, be compliant, be legal, and it's out of your mind. Never think about it again. Then go and buy your big tyres and your spotlights and know that you're legal doing so. Cheers, Aaron, man. That was a real eye-opener.
Thank you very much.
A heavy conversation.
Yeah, it's good.
See what I said there?
It's good.
Well, now you can see just how much goes into creating a GVM kit for a vehicle. Way more than you probably thought. Now, earlier on, we looked at a number of vehicles that had some pretty poor GVM figures from factory, but just look at them now. Now keep in mind that these figures may change by the trim level of the four-wheel drive, as they all weigh slightly different. A Ford Ranger has a stock payload of 954 kilograms, with the PETA's GVM upgrade kit taking it up to 1,524 kilograms. The BT50's payload can be upgraded from 1,002 kilograms all the way up to 1,572 kilograms. And finally, the four-wheel drive we've been using here today, the 300 series, has a stock payload of 735 kilograms, with the PETA's GVM upgrade kit taking it up to 1,545 kilograms. And check out how much axle capacity increases on these four-wheel drives as well. For more info on the PETA's GVM upgrade kits, simply go online or check them out in store. So there you go, modern four-wheel drives really do carry a lot less than you might think, but there are ways to get around this so that you can still do your big dream trip. First and foremost, folks, learn your weights, know your numbers, know where you're at when it comes to the weights of your vehicle before you start adding accessories to it. Then, if you are going to go close to or over GVM, a GVM upgrade is an absolute no-brainer. It makes a world of difference, keeps you safe, and keeps you legal. Folks, like and subscribe, but more importantly, in the comments down below, let me know what you think about the payload problem with modern four-wheel drives. See you next time.